I may not be at home right now, but today I'm going to tell you about my 5 favorite home tech products that, regardless of how old they might be or how unsupported they still are these days, I love them to pieces and think that they would make a great addition in anybody's smart home setup. First, we have to start with the air purifiers that I have in my home. I have 2 different types. I have the IKEA Forniftig, hope I'm pronouncing that right, I'm probably not, and I have the Mila, which is the smart home air purifier, and the IKEA is more of a traditional style home air purifier. Now, if you're like me and you got really bad allergies, these kind of products are lifesavers, and we have the Forniftig in our living area and it does a great job of keeping that space clean, especially with the dog running around there most of the day. And we have the Mila, which is super powered up in our bedroom, and that does a phenomenal job of catching dirt and dust, and little bits of debris and stuff that we normally would be breathing in, and preventing my allergies from being so bad. I have had so many fewer flare-ups since I invested in the Mila. It is expensive, but they do now make a small version of the Mila, which will probably save you a little bit of money and will fit a little bit nicer in some spaces. The original Mila is a bit of a beefy unit. It's aesthetically pleasing and well designed, but it's a bit large. If you don't have an air purifier in your house yet, either of these are great options. The Forniftig from IKEA is quite cost effective. And again, as always, I'll leave links to everything talked about in this video down in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. The second piece of home tech that I cannot live without is the Google Home that I have. Now, I have a bit of a quasi mix of Google/Nest Home units. I've got some newer gen minis and some original Nest hubs. So I've got like 7 or 8 of them in my house. But regardless of the mix and match, it all funnels into the Google Nest Home app. And everything works perfectly, just as you need. And literally every device in my house is connected to this ecosystem and really makes my day-to-day life so much easier as a result of that. Basically, all the smart home tech in my house, from my August lock to my Google doorbell to the Nest smoke detectors that I have, everything all pipes into this one ecosystem. It all works seamlessly. It's extremely easy to set up, and the automation is very straightforward. I honestly think anybody could get up and going and use this system for their smart home setup. And I recently picked up this Plus AC, that's Plus ACC, plus accessory, I assume, smart dock for the Nest Home Minis. This guy takes the Nest Home Mini and makes it wireless, which is super cool and very unique. It's a nice slim little base that you plug the Nest into. It has its own battery bank inside that you charge up. And then your Nest Mini can go anywhere that you want. You can position it up high or in a hard to reach spot. I have used this in 2 different places now. One, in my bathroom, I can plug my Nest Home Mini into it, get it battery powered, still connects, of course, over Wi-Fi to my home network, and then I can stream my Spotify or my audiobooks, whatever I want, in the shower. And we also used it to put the Nest Mini that was on the floor under our hutch in our living room up on top of the hutch. It's a bit more out of sight, and with the base, it actually makes it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. There's less cords, it's out of the way, it's one less thing for the dog to go sniffing about and booping with their nose. So if you want to make your Nest Mini wireless and allow it to go in different places that it may not have been able to do before, click the link down in the description to check out the Plus ACC Smart Battery Dock for the Google Nest Mini. My number 3 must-have home piece of tech sadly is no longer being manufactured, but I love this thing 2 pieces, and it's my June Smart Oven. This is one of the first pieces of tech I ever talked about here on this channel. I unboxed it in my house when I first moved into it many years ago, my old house. I imported it from the US, set it up, and I've been using it pretty much every single day since then. So 5 or 6 years now that I've had this guy. Yes, I know it's filthy and needs a cleaning, but that's just because of how frequently it's being used. Literally, my wife and I cook everything in the June oven. 1, because it automatically detects what you put into it most of the time and can then preset its own programming, its own heating, its own coil segments, everything custom tailored to the specific food that you've put in it. And if it's a particular type of red meat, for example, it has a thermometer that sticks in to get detailed readings so that there is perfect cooking happening every single time. And 2, because it's just so quiet and efficient. Unlike my traditional oven, which is electric, it takes 10 minutes or so to heat up to like a 400 Fahrenheit temperature in order to start cooking. The June is small, it's very concentrated, and it heats up super, super fast. So between the two of them, if I need to get something in the oven or we're in a rush to get dinner ready, I'm going to the June because it just is so much easier. We love this thing. I wish it was still available because I think more people could really use a product like this. It would really make a lot of people's lives just that little bit extra easy. But yeah, sadly, I think the product was acquired by Breva and is gone for good. But hopefully that technology lives on in another product that doesn't cost a fortune. My number 4 piece of smart home tech that I can't live without. This is a big one, and this really saved my butt when I moved into my current house, and that is my heat pump system. So if you're not familiar with heat pumps, these are traditionally found in Europe, actually. They're very common over there, but my house is old, built in the early 70s, and has no central air and only electric baseboard heating in it. So when I moved in, there was no air conditioning. It was the dead of summer, and I needed to get this place retrofitted quickly and efficiently, and not for $1 million, so I could get AC. And a heat pump was the best way for me to do it. Basically, it's a complement of 2 different systems. You've got the heat pump itself, which is outside of your home, and then you've got what's called mini splits that go inside your home, and this is where the air is actually pushed out of, whether that's heating or cooling. Mine can do both, which is really cool because the baseboard heating is very inefficient and expensive. With the heat pump, my hydro bill typically hovers between 75 and 200 Canadian dollars, depending on the season. It is a little bit more expensive to run in the winter, which is not a surprise. Our Canadian winters get stupidly cold. But yeah, these mini splits and heat pump combo did a phenomenal job. I only paid about $7,000 for the complete set with installation back in 2020. Although I've heard now, after pandemic times, these have shot up to like 14, 15 grand for the exact same configuration. Don't know if that's necessarily still worth it as much, but yeah, love this. It makes things so much easier. And the great part about this configuration is you can actually have different parts of your house heated or cooled to different temperatures. Each zone or mini split unit has its own remote control to dictate what temperature that area is in. Unfortunately, you can't have heating in one area and cooling in the other. They have to be in the same mode. But yeah, the ability to do different temperatures is pretty cool. And up until this point, with a traditional central air or furnace system, you would have needed like a Nest smart thermostat setup in order to do that. I don't think I'm going to find any links to this particular product anywhere on Amazon or in general, but I will link some helpful info down in the description about my heat pump. And maybe one day I'll get around to doing a proper, complete video outlining how my heat pump was installed, how it works, why I went with it, all those pros and cons that I talked about at a high level in more detail, because I don't think many people, at least in Canada and the US, are super familiar with how heat pumps and mini splits work, and I think it might make a pretty interesting video topic. Let me know down in the comments if you agree. And my last piece of smart home tech that I could not live without is my Wi-Fi garage door opener. Going back again to my old house built in the early 70s, there's no separate door inside the house to go into the garage. So in order to access the garage, the garbage stuff that we keep in there, or my wife's car, which is parked in there, you have to walk outside of the house and around. And sometimes if the garage door is left open, you never know what can happen. And that's why our Wi-Fi garage door opener is a lifesaver, because it is completely connected to the web and we can access remotely and check the status of our garage at any point in time through the app, open or close it. And we can also turn on the light or turn off the light should we need to. If somebody's down there, say, working on the electrical panel and they need the light, you can access that remotely as well. Very, very cool, very seamless. I wasn't able to find the exact model that I bought myself. I think I got it from Home Depot, but again, it was back in 2020, so 5-6 years ago. So I've linked some similar models down in the description for you to check out if getting a Wi-Fi garage door opener is something that you're looking into as well. But that's been my must-have smart home tech products that I cannot live without. They make my life day-to-day so much easier and save me a ton of time. What do you guys think about these products? Do you agree with why I love them? Do you disagree? As always, let's have a conversation down in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you again soon in the next one.